that I feel made the biggest moves, maybe even the best moves, that would be the Indiana Fever. I think the Indiana Fever went from just being in the playoffs last season to potentially winning a championship.
Wait, hold up. Are we in Twilight Zone or something? Or is there a bug that got stuck between my ears? Sheryl Swoopes, the biggest Caitlin Clark hater of all time, just made a 360 turnaround and boldly predicts that the Indiana Fever will bag the 2025 WNBA Championship. Well, I can't blame her for saying that, and the fact of the matter is, most online sports betting sites are also suggesting the same thing cause. After making a huge splash in the free agency, the Fever's championship odds have increased significantly, and now they're just sitting behind the defending champs New York Liberty and the powerhouse team of the Las Vegas Aces. Now, of course, these are all just opinions and speculations as the season hasn't started yet, and there are a ton of uncontrollable factors that could happen as the season progresses, like injuries, suspensions, and stuff like that. So, to make a strong case for the Fever to win the championship in the upcoming season, I'll be throwing away the theories and instead make a deep dive into the X's and O's as to how each one of their new pieces can fit and coexist alongside CC, Kelsey, AB, and the rest of the Fever. And with that being said, here's how the Indiana Fever will win the 2025 WNBA Championship.
I am ready to proclaim the Indiana Fever as your WNBA champs.
Offensively, philosophy-wise, in general, how do you like to play?
Yeah, I mean, I think first and foremost, pace. One of the great things about Indiana is they love to play fast, right? So, what you want to play, I want to play with great pace. It's too hard in our league, and defenses are too good to allow them to get set, to allow them to be able to predetermine what you're going to do. So I also want our players to use their instincts and to play free. We want to make plays, not run plays, right? We want to have sets that give us certain spacing that we want, depending upon our rotations, who's on the floor, who we want to attack, what matchups we want to get to. How can we manipulate them? And so really giving them the freedom to play within a system.
That was Fever's new head coach, Stephanie White, laying out the details of how she'll run the Fever offense. And as you heard, she wants to play with a free-flowing, read and react type of offense while maintaining great pace throughout 48 minutes. I mean, I'm not gonna lie here, folks. I was literally smiling from ear to ear when she dropped those statements, because it reminded me of one team that played exactly like that. And I'm talking about none other than the 2015 Golden State Warriors. Behind the offensive firepower coming from Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, the Warriors broke the NBA with their incredible three-point shooting and high-octane, up-tempo play style. And as a result, the Warriors won the championship by the end of the season. Now, if the 2015 Warriors have done that, I'm predicting that the Indiana Fever would do the same thing in the upcoming season, because if Golden State had the Splash Brothers, the Fever have the Splash Sisters in Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell, arguably the best backcourt duo in the W right now. CC and Kelsey averaged 20 points apiece last season, and there's no doubt that this trend will continue next season as Coach White will hand over the reins of the team to these two dynamic guards, as both CC and Kelsey are gifted facilitators who can set up their teammates, and at the same time, they're both lethal scorers who can light up the scoreboard at any given time. Anyway, after the Warriors were defeated by the Cavaliers in the 2016 finals, they shocked the basketball world by bolstering their roster with the addition of Kevin Durant. As we all know, that key signing resulted in 2 more championships and established the greatest dynasty in the modern era. Well, in the same sense, the Fever also made a major splash this offseason after coming up short in the playoffs last year by signing 2-time champ and multi-time All-Star DeWanna. Now, what's crazy in this weirdly parallel situation is that the evidence suggests that DeWanna turns out to be the female Kevin Durant of women's basketball. And it's highly likely that just like KD, DB is the missing piece that could propel the Fever into the next level, and the player that could help them to become perennial championship contenders.
Spots early on. He's talked about making that right read off the ball, catch and shoot way deep to DeWanna.
Standing at 6'4" with a 7'4" wingspan, Bonner is a 3-level scorer like KD, and there's no question that she will thrive in the Fever's free-flowing offensive system because she can cause damage in every way possible. Because of her long limbs and massive frame, DB can exploit mismatches, especially on the low block, as she can just rise and shoot faders on top of their heads. Aside from that, DB has also made a living in the mid-range and is quite efficient in that area. I mean, look at this play right here. After denying the ball screen, DB drives to her left and then steps back to create some space to launch that jumper. And when the defense tries to close the distance, Bonner can use his length and footwork to squeeze some crafty buckets. Now, what makes DB even more dangerous is that she can deal damage even if the ball is out of her hands. See, the Lynx thought she's going to go over for a pin down action, but with just a swift head fake, DB went backdoor to score the easy stab underneath. And lastly, we must not forget that this lady has an incredible range, just like CC.
Laney into the hands of Bonner, fires up a player. That's answered.
Anyway, apart from Bonner, the Fever also added one of the feistiest competitors in the league right now, Sophie Cunningham. And when she was asked what she could bring to the table, here's what she said.
What do you think your fit is here with the Fever?
You know, I just outwork people. I'm the ultimate competitor. I'm a fierce competitor. I'm a little bit sassy sometimes, you know, which people don't like, but I love. My teammates always love. And to be honest, I spread the court. Like I can shoot the ball. Where I like to move and I like to dribble and kick, you know what I mean? I like to run. I kind of get the name Forrest Gump sometimes, and I'm like, hey, if you guys want to call me, that's fine. I'll beat you down the court every time. But
known to be a gritty, in-your-face kind of player, Cunningham injects energy and toughness on both ends for the Fever, and she can also act as an enforcer to protect her teammates when things get chippy, most especially towards Caitlin, who gets bullied a lot last season. Now, those were the stuff that Sophie brings beyond the stat sheet, but as she said earlier, her primary role is to be a floor spacer on the offensive end who can knock down shots on kickouts. I mean, if lane penetrators and ball handlers get stopped in their tracks, they can always spray it out to Sophie, and when her feet are set, 9 times out of 10, the results are going to be pure wet. And see, she's not just your typical catch and shoot gal, cause Sophie can unleash some fiery 3-point bombs off the dribble. Look at this play right here. As she crosses the timeline, Sophie just stops and sets up shop before getting this 3-ball to drop. Now, when the defense tries to contest her shot, Sophie can switch gears and attack the closeout to go all the way to the cup. Apart from that, Cunningham is also a cunning playmaker who can deliver the goods on time and on target when she gets blitzed coming off screens. And finally, what I like most about the Forrest Gump of the WNBA is that she can outrun and outrace anybody down the court and get easy buckets on leakouts and transition attacks. Anyway, from discussing Sophie's potential impact on the Fever's offense, let's now talk about Natasha Howard and what she could bring to her former team. From averaging just 5.6 points a ball game in her first 2 seasons in the WNBA while playing with Indiana, Howard's game has grown leaps and bounds, and she has gained a ton of experience since then as she bounced from one team to another for the next 9 years. An inside and outside threat, Howard fills the gap that Nalissa Smith left out in the paint by imposing her presence in the interior, especially on the block, while complimenting Aliyah Boston as a versatile power forward. Now, one of the impressive things about Howard is her footwork. I mean, check out this post play right here. So as soon as she receives the rock, Howard goes for a shake and bake to get her defender off balance. And when she gets baited with the head fake, Howard then goes underneath and steps through to get that layup to drop. And even against multiple defenders, Howard can work her way against them using a plethora of moves, and she can even finish things up using her left hand. In addition to that, she knows how to get deep in the paint and take advantage of mismatches using her size. Now, aside from being elusive and crafty at the post, Howard can also stretch the floor and provide lethal outside sniping, much like the former Fever, Katie Lou Samuelson, See, here's Ionescu threading the baseline, and instead of making a sharp dive into the paint, Howard pops out and drills the corner 3. Howard gives Caitlin and Kelsey another kick-out option whenever they clog the defense. And speaking of defense, Howard knows a lot about that, as the former Defensive Player of the Year is an outstanding one-on-one stopper, as well as a tremendous help defender. I mean, Rebecca Allen is already sealed deep in the paint in this possession, but watch how Howard hustles back to prevent the easy 2 points. And after the initial defender is blown by here, Howard steps up to the plate and swats away Carrington's layup attempt along with her makeup. Anyway, now that we have discussed what the new faces will bring to the fold and how they will fit, let's now talk about the usual suspects for the Fever, starting with Lexie Hull. From shooting a dismal 18.6% from 3 in her rookie year, Lexie has shot the rock with a career high of 47.1% last season, and her defense was pretty valuable for the Fever, as she was the one tasked to guard and stop the opposing team's #1 perimeter scorers and superstar guards. Her 3-and-D capabilities are what makes Lexie Hull stand out, and I'm pretty sure that she'll continue to wreak havoc on both ends in the upcoming season. Now, before we wrap things up, let's not forget to talk about the Fever's #1 inside option, Aliyah Boston. The 2023 Rookie of the Year meant business ever since she stepped foot in the W. And last season, we saw how lethal and effective the 1-2 punch of CC and AB was, with Boston averaging 14 points while grabbing almost 9 rebounds per ball game. With her stock trending upward, it's almost certain that AB will transform into a double-double monster in the upcoming season. She'll most definitely be a good fit for the new faces that she'll be playing with. And with that in mind, let's try to lay out how the starting 5 of this revamped Fever team will look, as well as guess different lineup combinations that they might use. Well, in my view, their standard starting lineup will consist of Caitlin running the point, Kelsey playing the 2 guard, and since Sophie and Lexie have the same skill set, they can duke it out on who's going to fill in the small forward position. And to round up the starting 5, I'll be putting Aliyah Boston on 5, while DeWanna complements her at power forward. But see, if they want to turn up a notch, they could field a death lineup similar to the 2017 Warriors, with CC and Kelsey running the backcourt, Bonner playing the 3 spot, while Howard and Boston complete the front line. Well, regardless of which lineup the Fever will use, I bet the Fever will be a handful to deal with in the upcoming season. And with that being said, I can't wait for the season to start, cause this super team is looking to take over the league and poised to win multiple championships in the years to come.